Hi, Sandra. So, what do we have and who do we have today?
Hi, Pauline. Today we're going to talk about the novel Taxi. It's a kind of exposure at the heart of Cairo's taxi. It talks about people's pain, their daily worries, and their fed up attitude toward politics and the cost of living in Egypt. All of this is not told by the writer, it's told by the drivers, with a humor that makes you laugh and cry at the same time. Who is the writer of Taxi, Pauline?
Well, the writer of Taxi is Khaled Al-Khamissi, and Khaled comes from an intellectual family, deeply rooted in arts and literature. I don't know if the listeners may know his father. He's the great poet Abd al-Rahman al-Khamisi. Khaled studied political science in Paris. But instead of staying locked in offices, he decided to go down to the street to listen to people. He writes with a style that knows how to show society's problems without too much useless philosophy.
Yes, to such an extent that the French government awarded him the rank of chevalier in recognition of his thought and his free pen. Because Khaled is not only a writer, he is also a family man. He is married, he has two children, and his personal life is a unique blend. On one hand, he is a modern intellectual trained in Paris, and on the other, he is a child of the Egyptian street who loves to sit with simple people to listen to their stories.
Yeah, that's true. And it's really this humility that allowed him to write with such sincerity. Khalid al-Khamisi has five major books to his credit, between novels and realistic literature. So, Sandra, the first one is Taxi, and it has been published in 2006. This is the book that shook everything up and made him known worldwide. And then Noah's Ark, and it's published in 2009, and it's another profound novel about the pain of exile. In 2011, and it's released in 2014, this is not a novel, but a collection of his columns during the Egyptian Revolution.
Let me take over, Pauline.
Mhm.
Khaled has also Me Shooting Star, translated in 2018 in French. It's a fictional novel that plunges us into the Egyptian countryside. It is one of his most intelligent and funniest stories. He uses a hakawati or storyteller style to make us live the village gossip, disputes, loves, and poverty, all while subtly showing us the big political picture. And then you have The Wings of the Labyrinth in 2025. It's his latest work. It's released so recently, 1 year ago. The novel tells the story of a hero named Basim. Basim is a man lost in the labyrinth of modern life, seeking meaning for his existence amidst current chaos and conflict. It touches on sensitive subjects like solitude and the impact of technology on our relationships.
Mm. Sandra, The Wings of the Labyrinth is a psychological and philosophical novel that dives into the human soul. In contrast, Taxi is the cry of the street. Before the book, novels were often written in a complex language, but with Taxi, Khalid wrote it in the Egyptian dialect, which pushed even those who never read to buy to buy this book. And it was a true breeze of fresh air for Egyptians and Arabs in general.
And of course, there is also the timing factor, like always. As
Mhm.
the book came out in 2006, in a period of social boiling before the revolution, it was a mirror of what was happening in homes and cars. But in the format of 58 short chronicles makes reading easy and very fast.
That's true. And we can see it on the numbers. The numbers showed us how much the book Taxi is a phenomenon. It reached a huge number with more than 35 re-editions. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of copies, more than 200,000 illegal ones, not counting the pirated versions sold on sidewalks in the streets of Egypt.
It has reached an international dimension. Taxi has been translated into more than 15 languages. French, of course, English, Italian, Chinese, and Pauline, it's even studied in some universities. There was much talk of a film adaptation with stars like Hind Sabri or Yasin, but unfortunately, the project got lost in the labyrinth of production. And now, to understand the spirit, we will read some quotes from Taxi in Egyptian dialect, and those quotes will summarize the spirit of the street and the spirit of the book. On politics, we can read, Sir. So it's the taxi driver who talks to the client and he tells him, Sir, what do we have to do with politics? We barely manage to earn our bread. Politics is for those who have a full stomach. We only have God to help us.
Yeah. And Sandra, to talk again about the film adaptation, we never know. Maybe it will be one day done, and we'll be very happy to watch it. I'm sure. So to come back on the quotes on the state of the country, we read, "This country moves forward thanks to our parents' prayers. Connections are more important than a degree. If you have a penny, you're worth a penny. If you have nothing, you're just an insect in the crowd."
And on driving in Cairo, which remind us very much of driving in Lebanon,
Lebanon, I'm sure.
we can read driving in Egypt is not an art, it's a battle. Only those who fear nothing move forward. If you wait for someone to let you pass, you will stay in place until Judgment Day.
Wow. And on the way, people look at the Egyptian driver or at the driver in general. We read, "For the customers, we're not human beings. We are just a steering wheel. No one asks the driver how he is. They just tell us, 'Drop me there,' or 'Go right, go left.'" Okay, it's next time, Sandra, we will bring our geography together in a book and published in America, which will include testimonies about Beirut after the port explosion.
Yes, Pauline. Next time we will hear the pain of Beirut in a book titled The Beirut Call. So it's about testimonies after the sad date of the 4th of August 2020,
Mm,
this black day, this
yeah.
awful day whoever was in Beirut, I believe, will never forget the trauma caused by this day.
Mm.
But I believe we have to remember in order not to let pass such genocide and to close our eyes concerning an awful crime.
Yeah, that's true. And hopefully, like, if for the listeners, Beirut is calling us and we will listen to Beirut. And if you want to continue listening to us, please follow us on Apple. We are on Apple podcast. We are on Spotify. We are also very recently on YouTube. We want to say thank you and goodbye. See you next time.